right, boys and girls. It's time for Jerry's Outdoor Show. Heard exclusively right here on AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC, the voice of Muscatine. Powered by Indian Creek Lure Company, the Sicilian Pizzeria, Mitchell Arms and Ammo, Pierce Custom Rods, Tailwater Marine, Deaf Guy Taxidermy, and RB's Outback Bait and Tackle. Like Jerry's Outdoor Show on Facebook. Jerry, our rods and reels are ready. Let's go fishing.
Well, here we are, the final one. It took 4 years to get to this point, but we're
rerun. Give me reruns.
Give
I
me
want
a
reruns.
Rerun right now. Hey, you know, speaking of reruns, as I got home from work last night, and I told my wife, I said, by God, you know, I've seen some pictures on Facebook. We better run out there and see old Lonnie Ford out there, what's happening out to his places. Let me grab the crappie rod and that, because I think they're going to be biting in his driveway.
Well, you should have grabbed a gig.
I should have. My goodness. I stopped out there and saw my good friend Lonnie Ford, which, by the way, I talked to Herman. We didn't get your music because we have music for Brewer, but now we got a new one for you, and it goes like this. He's Lonnie Ford. She's a ladies' man. It's because at the fish fry.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy, Lonnie.
He was all over them, wasn't he?
He was wheeling
Or was they
and
over
dealing
him?
out there. I
I'm
don't
not sure.
know, but there was a baby.
I think me and you lost a couple girlfriends.
I think so.
Lonnie
Ford,
stole them.
Yeah, he's a new sheriff in town.
I know.
I don't think so.
Oh, buddy boy.
When I was out there, yeah, they were all like, who's that guy over there?
Yeah.
Oh, I know his voice. That's that Lonnie.
That good-looking guy's on those Ugly Bastard show. Oh, my goodness. Well, I started watching more. But no, anyway, let's get back to the point.
I think you're jealous because you got your
Well,
groupies
yeah,
and they wasn't
was.
paying attention to you.
Oh, boy, Lonnie was pouring
You
it
stole
on,
them.
boy.
You
yeah.
stole them.
Well,
At
Lonnie,
least you're admitting it now.
right. Well, Lonnie, how did you catch all these catfish? Well, take off your brassiere, dear, and I'll tell you. But anyway, we're not here to tell tales out of school, but yes, we are. That's the majority of the show, if you're just listening right now. But anyway, so we stopped out. I grabbed my wife, I grabbed my dog, so let's get out to Lonnie's, take a look. Because I stopped out there Tuesday night, and Lonnie was out there putting some sand around there and trying to make some dams out there. And turns out it was kind of all for naught, wasn't it? You know, I was talking to Lonnie, and he was loading it up. And he goes, yeah, Wendland's good about giving me sand and all this. I'm going to put this around and this and that. He goes, I believe it's actually dropping a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe it's
It wasn't
actually...
Cedar Rapids at the time. But that was wishful thinking on my part.
Yeah, you know, because Fred down there at Muddy River, he said it does typically take 2 days from rain or from wherever it's at Cedar Rapids to get down to Moscow.
Well, that's about right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then we're approximately, believe it or not, we're about 20 to 24 hours advance of the Conesville
area.
That's what makes it tough on me and trying to determine numbers is that, you know, we're 15, 18 miles by river from Conesville and about 45 to 50 to Cedar Rapids with no accurate river stage gauge in between.
Correct.
And the only thing I can really go by then is the closest one, which is Conesville, excuse me. And then I turn around and just deduct 24 hours off of whatever they're showing.
Which, fortuitously enough, what we're going to get in that on the second half of the show is there's something that's called zero datum out there. If you look at your river gauges, your river charts, most of them will say, 6.4 feet, 12.3 feet. But you deal with Coralville or Cedar Falls, if you look at the Cedar Falls one, it'll say it's 92 feet. Now, the Cedar River ain't 92 feet.
No.
Coralville Reservoir ain't 683.5 feet. Okay? Not with that. But I'll explain that a little later on the second part of the show. But anyway, Lonnie, how'd you make out there? Are you okay?
Actually, I made out real well. The one cabin closest to the river alongside my mom and dad's, it got about 4 or 5 inches of water, but it was 100% cleaned out. So I checked my mom and dad's this morning, which is... they're about 100 feet from the edge of the water.
Right.
But what people don't realize is that I'm higher than what it really looks like because I have it all terraced and mowed and not terrorist.
Well, I'm just getting over the thing you're higher than most people know.
But anyway, I checked my mom and dad's. We did not get a floor. We did not get their floor wet in that cabin.
So now, like asking you, your house kind of sits up on a mound. Did you purposely build that way?
Yes, it was purposely built that way, yes.
So are you on a slab? You're a slab house.
No,
you have a basement?
There is a foundation, yes, a basement.
Oh, wow, awesome.
Yep.
So everything's okay? Everything's going down now?
Oh, yeah, my driveway's open now. The biggest issue that I have, and I closed the gate this morning, and I had my wife parking her state car right in the middle of the gate to keep people out.
Right.
I've got people driving in now, and everything is soft. I mean, it's waterlogged.
Right.
And I can see where people have been turning around in the grass, getting off of the road. And I told the wife, I said, the first person that gets stuck out here, I'm not taking the end loader out to pull them out. I said, we'll call a wrecker.
Yeah.
And let them pay for a wrecker to get them out of here. Because I said that it's totally asinine to be driving around, on this saturated ground.
Right.
And so this morning when I left to come in here, I pulled the gate closed.
Right. And for people that don't know, there is also a big tombstone out there that says no trespassing right before you get to the Florida State. But my other question was, when we went over last night to check her out, and I didn't back around on your grass. I pulled it a little bit.
You're Mr. 100.
I'm the one that pushed him over the edge. Damn it, that's it. Mary, we're done.
Got mud on top of the grass.
Get my shotgun. I've had it. So anyway, so we were looking at Wendland Quarries there, and like I said before, they have a sign, 2008, got a red mark on it, 3 foot below. There's where the water was sitting, and it kind of receded a little bit since we got. But my question is, I mean, it was all the way, it's close. So if you lived in Hinkyville, you're pretty much screwed, aren't you? How do you get there?
You don't.
You don't.
There was a day or two before the actual height. People were watching the flood stages, and campers were being pulled out, and trailers full of personal items, so
74 El Caminos, 1969 Kimball refrigerator.
It looked like the Clampetts heading for California, people were just pouring out of there, getting as many personal belongings they could a day or two before the actual height, hit there, the maximum depth.
Right. But everything's on the way down now, and it's nothing but sunshine and roses from here on out.
Well, till the hurricane hits and pushes more rain up here.
Right, exactly.
It's coming at us.
Now, have you seen any effects down by you, Randy?
No, it's just water running through my whole park. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary other than it's fall instead of spring.
Right.
What the heck's up with this?
Well, we got
never in my life.
Well, like I said, we got that coming up. Actually, Eric Sorensen from WQAD was going to be on this morning with his little quip and his little take of it. And unfortunately, he was a little ill today. But we do have this that we can play in this stead. You want to go ahead and roll that, Tim?
Hi there, everybody. I'm meteorologist Eric Sorensen. Forgive me for my low voice here this morning. Maybe I've been overdoing it just a little bit, but hey, this video will document the low octave range that I have this morning. I did want to talk to you a little bit while I'm able, about the flooding that I witnessed on Tuesday. I had the opportunity to see firsthand what was going on in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, in what has become the number 2 flood. I want to take a look at some graphics here. And you can see in the Cedar Rapids area, the most significant flooding, 2008, 2016, 1993, 1999, and 2004. 5 of the top 10 have occurred since 1993. Here in the Quad Cities, the number is even more surprising, because 6 of the top 10 have occurred since 1993. So one of the things, you look at this and you say, all right, now, why are we having more in the way of flooding on the Cedar River, the Mississippi River, and a lot of the rivers around here? And a lot of this points to the frequency of heavy rain. I am lucky enough to have some wonderful colleagues that I could turn to with answers like this. And quite elementary, you can look at the fact that our warming atmosphere is able to hold more water. And as we can hold more water, and thunderstorms can produce more rainfall. because of the warming climate, this summer especially, the jet stream has been further to the north. It was in Canada for most of the summer months, so that allowed our storms to move even slower. So it's easy to make a connection. You can't, as my friend Sean Sublette says, you can't make the connection literally that says that this flood in Cedar Rapids was caused by climate change. But you can see that the frequency certainly is changing as our climate changes. So the bottom line is we can expect more extreme flooding in eastern Iowa and along the Mississippi River as long as our atmosphere continues to warm.
So there you go. That's Eric's take on it. If you're on the global warming side, if you're not on the global warming side, but the facts remain that since 1993, we've had more persistent flooding, more than our grandparents ever seen. The top 5, top 6 worst floods have happened since 1993. So with that, we do have a good sponsor of ours on the show, and he's firsthand, Kyle Robinson. He's up there in Marion with Indian Creek Lure Company, and he can testify to what happened up there in Cedar Rapids. How you doing, Kyle?
Great, Gary. How are you this morning?
How are you, my friend?
Oh, not bad. Not bad. We survived the flood for the most part.
Were you directly affected?
No, not really. Being in Marion, I'm about 5 miles away from the Cedar River, and it doesn't really affect us very much here.
Okay, so I know the cleanup effort's underway now. The waters have since receded and all that stuff up there. So was Cedar Rapids more prepared for it this time?
Oh, I tell you, they did an unbelievable job. All of the departments in the city, they were ready for it. They put up a lot of these Cisco barriers.
Yeah, I seen that.
And it just did a phenomenal job of protecting a lot of the businesses and residential areas. Another thing, this time it got up to 22 foot. In 2008, it got up to 31 feet.
Correct.
So anytime you have 8 foot less water, obviously, it makes a huge difference.
Right, and I was watching a thing on these HESCO barriers, which they are, they're basically big blocks that you fill up with sand. And Randy's soon-to-be son-in-law, actually, he went up there and helped fill those up, didn't he?
Yeah, they use a belt truck pumping sand where they with big long arms that they can't reach, and they just Quad Cities donated a whole bunch of theirs because the Mississippi wasn't going to get bad. Mm-hmm. So they took those up there, and they filled them up, too, which they never had in 93.
Right. So,
those HESCO barriers are phenomenal. And like you said, 8 foot of water is a lot of water.
We got a lot of them here from Iowa City, I guess. They sent some up out of the same situation. The Iowa River wasn't going to get bad. Actually, I have a son that's in the Army, and when he was in Afghanistan, a couple of the outlying posts that he was in, that's what they were constructed out of. They build those outposts out of those pestle barriers, and they build them up, stack them 2 or 3 high, fill them with sand, and that way they can't be penetrated.
Ain't no bullets coming through that.
Right. Well, the thing with the HESCOs that come, because the back of it used to be, you can go down there and volunteer to fill sandbags, and then somebody come up with the idea, hey, why don't we just do this? And man, it just, it saved a bunch on that, and it can be quickly deployed and quickly taken away once the trouble subsides. But other than that, Kyle, we didn't have you on here just to talk about the flood and all that. How's business been up there at Indian Creek?
Oh, not too bad. Always seems to be something going on. We're kind of starting, as you guys know, once you get into that mid-September, you kind of always start what a lot of people kind of call that second season. And now until into November, depending on the weather, fish patterns change. Some of the panfish kind of become active again. Bass kind of start feeding a little more. Walleye kind of pick up as the fish move around, maybe move a little shallower. So
yeah, I know they were moving right by Lonnie's place about 90 miles an hour on Tuesday.
I know. Same up in the Mississippi where we go a lot. Matter of fact, our Benton Bass Club, they're actually having their classic this weekend at Lansing.
Mm-hmm.
And at least the river's getting down enough on those pools that you can get out safely and maybe find some areas out of the high current to fish a little bit. So I know I got about a dozen friends that are going up and fishing that little tournament this weekend. So
now, besides offering a fine line of bass fish and lures, you also make custom rods. And Kyle, I've been reading this lately, and I don't know if it's true or false or whatever. I don't follow the bass tournaments. I'm not a big bass guy, but something about they're going to be starting to allow them to use 10-foot rods.
Yeah, that's what it looks like next year. They can use 10-foot rods in a Bass Federation. So I can picture there's going to be anglers that are going to get their ears pierced, cheeks pierced, whacked alongside of the head by their buddy in the boat with a 10-foot rod.
Right.
Bad enough with a 7.5-foot rod right now.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing with me. Like we go up to Lost Grove a lot here with all the flooding that's been going on, and there's trees all over, and you forget when you're using a 12-foot rod that there's a tree up above you. Hey, whoop, darn it! But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I mean, would you have any intel on why they're making this change? Is it just more sensitivity or?
Well, I think a lot of people, when you get into the frog fishing or throwing swim baits, the big thing anymore is to be able to cast 75 yards. And with that, more of a moderate action to the rod with a little quicker tip, you can cast out there a very long distance. The other thing you can do is the longer you cast, depending on the line that you use, a longer rod, when you make the hook set, you can make the hook set quicker.
Okay.
So that being said, it's I think it'll be here to stay. The trend has been, as we all know, geez, it used to be back that we'd have 6-foot rods forever.
Right.
And, then they've been growing every year, and now looks like 10-footers are going to be the next thing. So.
Right. Well, back when my good buddy Johnny Crane started in the bass fishing thing, he put on a couple of seminars for me when we had the bait shop, and he'd come out and he said, "Boys, I'll tell you, boy, when I started bass fishing, we basically had these fiberglass rods that were about as big as round as broomsticks, and that's what they had. So the evolution that the equipment has taken is just phenomenal when you look past through the years. Now, Kyle, I know you're a young feller and you can't remember back that far, but
yeah, I'm a young 60-year-old. So
there you go. So, did you get a chance to get out much and enjoy this season?
Not as much as what I would have liked. I've had, between working about 6 days a week, and then it just seems like we had, as everybody knows, a lot of rain and really hot weather, and only having 1 day a week to get out, at least for going up in the Mississippi.
Right.
I didn't get out much. Made it down to Hawthorne, made it down to Belvedere a few times. And we did really good down there. Caught a lot of bass. I probably didn't catch as many bigger bass this year as normal, but we sure caught a lot of them.
Did you do you have any luck in Belvedere with walleye?
I've caught some before early in the spring, like when crappie are spawning.
Right.
There's a couple places down there that water temperature just starting to warm up. And where the walleye, I think part of it is that the crappie are starting to spawn, and I think the walleye like to move up and feed on the crappie eggs.
Right. Well, I've just lately I've had customers coming through the bait shop. Then they're going to Belvedere walleye fishing and crappie fishing this weekend. And it's like, really, there's walleye in there you're chasing around? Because I fished there and I've never even accidentally caught one.
I had one that was probably about a 23-inch or so back in 2007.
Really?
And I was talking to one of the Keokuk County conservation guys down there probably a month ago, and he said the same thing. There's some of the rock humps out there he said that there quite a few guys come up and they're fishing for walleye on them rock humps.
And
they come up to about that 15 foot down. And he said, especially later in the evening, the water's pretty clear. Right. So he said, when the sun starts to set a little bit, late evening or early in the morning, he said some of the guys come out, and some of the catfish guys, or some of the guys, he said, that are doing it too. And he said they're fishing some of the points for the cats and stuff, and he said some are dropping a jig, and now and then they catch a walleye off there too. So.
Yeah, they acted like they knew what they were doing and what they were going after.
Oh, though classic walleye traits: early in the morning, late at night.
Yeah, they don't like light.
So awesome.
And I know that Lake McBride, some guys are starting to catch a few walleye down there because it has some really big walleye in it, and that has a lot of rock humps. Steep drop-offs, a lot of rock shoreline, and it should be a really good fall walleye thing. Palo Lake, they're building riprap, redoing the shorelines around Palo Lake up here, and it seems like for the last couple of years they were just waiting and not doing anything.
Right.
But it's going pretty good now, so I think by sometime in 2017 they'll have that starting to fill up and stuff. So, but I think that should be pretty good.
That Pleasant Creek Lake, I think that's what one you're talking about.
That is correct. Yes.
Now they got that drained down pretty good, right? I mean, you can't put a boat in
really
there. Or
tough unless
like
you got a canoe or a kayak.
Right.
It's tough. You could probably, with a 4-wheel drive, they've extended the gravel boat ramp on the south side. People tell me with a real light boat, you can take it down and bounce it in as long as it's pretty dry. But I got a friend of mine who fishes it a lot, and he said he took his kayak out and stripers, catching a lot of stripers. They're this time of year, they're schooling, busting on shad like they are everywhere. Right. And
it's full of ringtail perch too, isn't it?
There's a lot of nice perch in there.
Right.
Yep. And a lot of muskie. A lot of muskie.
Right. So, I fished there a few times. So, Kyle, if you and your wife are out there walking around the lake and you get over there towards the center of the dam where that retention part is, if you look down there should be a lot of number 4 pink jig heads down there. If you could just grab those for me, I'd appreciate it.
I'll crawl down there and pick them up for you.
I really appreciate that. Another thing I really appreciate, Kyle, is you coming on as a sponsor this year. I thank you a lot. I don't know how many people have made the journey from Muscatine up there. But you have a nice shop. You have tons of plastic. You have tons of rods and all that. And been a great sponsor. And I just want to thank you for your participation this year.
Well, we appreciate it. We plan on being a part of it again in the future. One last thing I want to throw out there. October 23rd, out of Village Creek in Lansing, we're doing our second annual Indian Creek Lure Company Invitational Bass Tournament.
Oh.
It is an invitational. It's not an open pay-at-the-ramp tournament for it, Matt. But the easiest way is to get a hold of me through Kyle Robinson on Facebook or IndianCreekLures.com on my website, or my email, KFG001@AOL. Anybody that's interested, contact me. I'll send you out the information. The only way people can get into it is they got to have this invitational letter by me. I send it out. You can respond with all the information. We give away a handful of rods. We give away some sample tackle packages. And last year, the winners had big fish, and they walked away with about $800 check.
Oh,
good. Yeah.
$80 per boat. And, we pay for a big bass. And we should have, I'm hoping to have somewhere between 25 and 35 boats this year. Last year we had 25. We did it in June. So, so it's a nice little tournament. Bill Grove Tom Bowler Memorial Tournament is the day before, the 22nd. That's an open tournament from the Cedar Rapids Bassmasters. So we just decided we'd just have ours the next day out of Village Creek in Lansing. So
awesome, cool beans. Yeah, if you're up towards,
if anybody wants to call me for details, it's 317-5739.
Cool beans, Kyle. Hey, make sure you share that information to my Facebook page. All
right?
Will
do, buddy.
All right, thank you, Kyle.
All right.
Have a great winter in Aruba or wherever you go.
All right, keep Brewer out of trouble.
Easy.
Not an easy thing. But what is an easy thing?
I do got to come up and see you, though, Kyle. I got an idea.
You're going
to love it.
Okay.
You keep Brewer out of trouble, buddy boy.
Especially if I get up and see the Rapids.
There you go. Cool beans. Hey.
Take care.
All right, see ya. Hey, we're on Jerry's Outdoor Show. We got a sliding commercial break, and we're going to be right back. Hey, don't touch that dial, bro, Tater Chip.
Don't say it's a fine morning or I'll shoot you.
We've got more of Jerry's Outdoor Show right here on KWPC AM 860 and 95.1 FM.
The body's a temple, that's why we're taught. Well, I've traded this one like an old honky.
Are you looking for a reliable taxidermist who does superior work? Here's taxidermist Shannon Spooner telling you in sign language why he's the best around. Oh, we forgot to mention, he's deaf. Deaf Guy Taxidermy in Clinton mounts every type of game imaginable, from deer and coyotes, fish and ducks, you name it, he can mount it. Text him, please. Don't call 563-613-4411 or send him an email to deafguytaxidermy@icloud.com. Deaf Guy Taxidermy, proud sponsor of Jerry's Outdoor Show. Listen on KWPC Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Shannon wishes he could. Indian Creek Lure Company is your family-owned tackle shop. They carry the finest in bass fishing products. They carry items not found anywhere else. In fact, if they don't have it, you don't need it. Indian Creek Lure Company specializes in the more specialized tackle. Indian Creek also carries Dobbins and Denali fishing rods, as well as their own line of Indian Creek rods. They can help you spec out a custom rod that's the perfect fit for you, and they cater to bass clubs and tournament anglers. Check out their website, IndianCreekLures.com today.
Mitchell Arms and Ammo has moved. Stop by their new location on Park Avenue inside the old Lincoln School. They are still your locally owned gun shop. Owner Troy Mitchell takes his time to find the right firearm to fit your needs. Visit them online today at MitchellArmsandAmmo.com and start searching their inventory. Suppressors will be available in July. They offer online pricing and local pickup. No freight or extra fees. Just add tax and pick up at the store in a few days. And warranties are honored locally too. Call them at 319-212-0239.
Pierce Custom Rods are handcrafted of the finest materials available and designed to provide the most enjoyable fishing experience imaginable. Each rod features a perfect blend of power, action, and detail customized for the user. If you want the utmost in performance, quality, feel, and appearance from your custom rods, choose Pierce Custom Rods. Search Pierce Custom Rods and like them on Facebook or call 563-299-8645.
And now back to more Jerry's Outdoor Show. If you've missed part of this episode or any other episode, what were you thinking? Give Jerry's Outdoor Show a like on Facebook. Listen to past episodes on iTunes, Podbean, and jerry'sOutdoorshow.com.
And boogity. Hey, this show would not be possible if it wasn't for the sponsors we had. We had Kyle Robinson on, but I just want to take a moment here. Personally thank Troy Mitchell, Matthew Pierce, Nigel Phelps, Shannon Spooner, Gary Brown, James Block. They've been tremendous. Mitchell Arms and Ammo, Pierce Custom Rods, Tailwater Marines, Deaf Guy Taxidermy, the Sicilian Pizzeria, JB's Fish Sauce, and, of course, Indian Creek Lure Company, which we just heard from Kyle Robinson. And as long as also being a sponsor of the show, he's also a co-host, a good friend, a good guy to go out and drink a six-pack of beer with and go fishing with. Our good friend Randy Brewer down there.
I thought it was a 12-pack.
Yeah,
I only get a couple of them.
30-pack?
That'll get you on the porch.
Okay.
You bring a 12-pack out, you're staying on the ground.
Right.
You bring a 30-pack, I'll let you on my porch.
There you go. I've been on your porch.
And right now, yes, you have. And right now, you don't want to be in the grass because there's bluegill swimming through there.
Is there? By God, that's good flathead bait.
Yeah, you scoop them up and sell them up front.
Absolutely. So anyway, with that, Randy Brewer, Outback Bait and Tackle. When you looking at closing things down? I mean, we're at the end of
the South End one. We did first of the month, and we'll open it back up in April. Mm-hmm. And then we'll just see what the weather does on the others.
Right.
I'm keeping minnows in there because now that the show's
right.
not, I might stay in this Friday routine of light work on Fridays,
right,
and just go fishing.
Well, what's any
because the
different?
river's going to go down.
I thought you're on light work duty every day.
Didn't your mom get laid Wednesday?
Whoa!
Whoa! Timmy boy!
Dick Lindell, you give us a call at 560.
Oh, yeah, Lindell. He was going to show up today, too, by the way.
I heard you did that carpet job for her.
I took care of it.
How'd that turn out?
Fuzzy side up and stretched it tight.
By golly.
Not bad.
Good.
Actually, I put double pad underneath of it.
I never heard of that before.
No, it's the third time in my life I did it. I did it for my dad, did it for myself, and did it for your mom.
You really did double pad.
I really did. I put 3/8, or I put 1/2 inch down, and then I put 3/8 on top of it.
Nice.
And yeah.
That
you can lay down on there and watch
for people,
ball game now.
people doing the math at home, that equals 7/8 inch. So anyway,
yeah, almost.
So what would be the purpose of putting a double pad down? Make it softer?
Well, I got two.
So when Dick comes stumbling in at night, he's not stomping on the floor.
Well, if he hits the floor, he ain't gonna hurt his head any. But no, a 1/2 inch 1/2 inch 8 pound and a 1/2 inch 3/8 pound. That's 16 pounds per square inch.
Right.
That's a lot of comfort.
Your mom likes it quiet in there.
There ain't no squeaks in that floor no more.
There you go.
But anyway, yeah. As long as the weather's holding out, I'll keep getting minnows. I'm kind of favoring on the orange ones right now because they actually do work better in the fall than all year long. And we'll just see what the weather does, because I like to walleye fish myself.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, you could walleye fish all winter. So
and
the key's in the mailbox. Go get your minnows, throw the money on the table, and get out of there.
Yeah, and
there's cameras everywhere.
This is what I love that we talk about it every year. We love this time of year. To
go
I
love
fishing.
it. When the
boys
put their boat
away,
away, the men go
out.
fishing.
Now, needless to say, now my wife will argue the point. Yes, I've fished about 4, 5, 6 days a week but that's for the show. That's for the show during the summertime. Now that the show's over, I can go out and just relax
and fish
and casually fish. I don't have to be worried about
it's too cold for anybody else to go with you.
Exactly. And that's the thing. I can tell that
nobody perking up.
I can tell that the cooler weather has moved in this week.
Oh yeah.
Because last night when I got out of my truck, I work up in Iowa City and I wear a hoodie or a sweatshirt or whatever. Somehow they make it out to my truck in the morning, but they don't make it into the house at night.
Yeah.
So when I go to look, I look at it like, oh man, I must have had about 15 how many sweatshirts I got laying in the truck. I finally drugged those in and said, oh, here they are. So anyway, my wife's real happy about that part of it. So anyway, hey, we were talking earlier about how some of these river gauges, if you look at the river gauges, a lot of places around here like Rock Island, Keysburg, New Boston, wherever the dams are located, Cedar Rapids, Cedar Bluff, Conesville, wherever they got their ID station. A lot of these places will say, hey, the river stage is at 11.2 or 6.4 feet. But you look at other places like Coralville or Cedar Falls, and they got these numbers that are just astronomical. It's like, what?
Yeah, where's 94 feet come?
Right. So I talked to my good friend Eric Maitland up there from KWQCC. I said, we got to come away to explain this zero datum. Now, when we talk about zero datum, what that means is there's something that's called MSL, which is mean sea level, which that means that's where they kind of measure where everything is at. As far as reference to the sea level. Sea level is not the lowest place, but it's just a perfect level that they can go off of. Iowa is at its lowest point in altitude is 480 feet above sea level, and its highest point is 1,670 feet above sea level. So, like a lot of places, depending on where they're going to measure it, because the Corps, they can use either two of these situations to measure it. So Iowa City Coralville is real easy. That usually runs about 689.5 feet, 693. So what you're doing is you're subtracting the altitude of Iowa City itself, which is about 680, and you subtract that from, or excuse me, it's 660 or something, and you subtract that from the number that they're projecting that at, and that's where you come with that. Yeah, it's more confusing. It'd be easier if they just went, 9 feet. Now, Cedar Falls, conversely, they use a different kind of zero datum. They use the actual courthouse steps. That is their low point, and they go, and that's why the river says it's 90 feet. Well, it's actually only 9 feet up there. So it's arbitrary where they're going to take these readings from, and they're trying to line everything up. But like I said, that could be sometimes when you read these river charts. It gets real confusing, but that's about the easiest way that I can kind of explain it. Why there's such wide and varying things. Now, I don't know. Now, Lonnie, you were with the DOT. I don't know how you guys, when you shot grade and all that, what system did you use? Did you go by sea level or what?
No, we went by local landmarks and
right.
The stuff based locally. Because, like you say, you get into the system of where you're coming from, measuring off of sea level,
right?
That it is immensely confusing.
Correct.
And the easiest thing is go by local landmarks and pins and everything like that. And that's typically
we was
how
talking
we run
earlier about Columbus Junction being, and then clear up where was the next place?
Conesville
right.
is on the advanced hydrology.
Right. But then north was where?
Cedar Rapids.
Right. I thought on G28 they had.
Oh no, yeah, Cedar Bluff. Cedar Bluff. That's just that's not a hydrological point. It's more of a monitoring.
Yeah, it's a quick reference point.
Yeah.
Right,
Conesville is what we're talking about. Is where the nearest report station is on the Cedar to me. Conesville. Right. That's on G28
but I just McEwen remember Bridge. As a kid, Arnold Kruger used to go up there and write down every day what the water level was from that little
plumb bob.
Plumb bob that went down.
Yep.
And I thought that's what they were doing. G28 is this level.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's more mechanized now, but
they changed since a day or two ago.
Yeah, oh yeah.
40 years ago.
45 years ago.
Yeah. So that's at McEwen Bridge.
I'll be
boat landing there. That's the nearest one to me.
Right.
And then Cedar Rapids is north, where you can go in and actually look and bring up the data almost instantaneously to view.
Right. Digital data that is composed. Somebody has to go out there and take it manually and then input it into it, whereas like Cedar Rapids, Conesville, and all that automatically gets uploaded. That's why they can project it and show what path it is on and this and that and everything.
And I know a lot of people, they go by Cedar Rapids, flood stage, especially around me. They say, well, the flood's supposed to get up to 23 feet, Well, if you ever look at Cedar Rapids as a whole, it's in one big. No, it is. It's in a big cauldron, and their flood stage is.
It was just the way you said. If you look at it as a hole, a hole,
it's a hole.
Yeah.
So, our apologies, Kyle Robinson, if you're still listening. We don't think that Cedar Rapids is a hole.
Yeah.
That whole downtown, though, it is like it's in a bowl down there.
Exactly. It's in a big cauldron. Exactly. And people can't go by their numbers because there's oh my God, it's going to get 23 feet here.
Right.
No, because once it gets out of that cauldron, that area, it spreads out.
It's got plenty of room to grow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, just look at I-80 there. I've been cruising over that every day this week, those 4 fields. And, boy, those guys must have hustled up and got that corn out of there because their fence row, I mean, they're to the top of it.
Yeah, another good example for people if they wanted to go on a drive before the river drops too much more is go out to the intersection of X54 and F70. Which is where Mulberry goes out and meets F70, and look out over the bluff towards the river down there. And that whole bottom area is underwater down through there.
Now, what I saw something on Facebook earlier, and I didn't get able to look at it, but they said there was a possible levee breach out by Nichols. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've been a little busy this week.
Yeah. I did see that on the news. I actually had a guy call me on it.
Uh-huh.
And what they have sand levees, same way they got around your place and stuff down there. And somewhere down through there around, I'm trying to remember, Hootie Pecker Holler.
Hoodow Junction.
Hoodow Junction.
Thank God for that disclaimer. Lottie came on this year as a rookie, and boy, he has learned well from the master Randy Brewer on what not to say on the radio.
I get it confused with another area that's actually called Hootie Pecker Hollow.
Okay, maybe it's your story,
that's
buddy.
In Cedar County.
You're on this side of the wall.
Did you see on the, I think it was on Channel 6 News last night, they had a report about the Corps of Engineers here in Muscatine, too, saying the levee wasn't up to par, and they walked down the sidewalk, and they were showing different spots that they got to redo.
And a lot of that amounts to the Corps of Engineers is very strict on what they give an acceptable rating.
They said they're really strict about it because it's either not good or it's good.
Exactly.
There's no in between.
They find one piece of brush. Tree growing up, debris laying on the bank, or something like that. They check it off, and they're
old boy
very
said
thorough.
Brush growing through the rocks, and if there's a telephone pole on the levee or on the top, that's got to go. And they were listing
anything
all
that requires emergency maintenance should, if that was a vital part of communication. They got it all. They got to move all that stuff out of there.
Yeah,
that has to be moved out.
Shoot the groundhogs.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do down home because rodent control.
Yes, rodent control is a big part of it.
So I just want to get back. I just want to backpedal a little bit. Yeah. You said that you had a guy call you from Nichols about that levee. You answered the phone. You actually answered the phone because
I rarely do, but
that's no.
I recognized the number, and he was telling me about the sand levee that had been breached, and it came across the road there at the Iowa 22 bridge, and back towards the north.
Pike Run area.
Yeah, Pike Run back up that way. It run over the gravel road there, but like I said to you here last week, that with the numbers that I can remember from 2008 that I collected all that data. There's no state routes in any danger of closing.
Right.
Except for now they're saying that north of Wapello there's 6 bridges. From the Iowa River to Wapello there's altogether there's 6 bridges in there.
Right.
And that's hard for people to realize. They go through them and there ain't that many bridges. Yes, there is.
Right.
The second bridge just south of the Iowa River Bridge is the lowest point in that section. Of roadway. And at about 28 and a half feet, the water comes over the road there. It's at 28 this morning. So it's very, very possible. It's supposed to crest around 7 o'clock tonight down there in Louisa County or in Wapello area. It's possible that could be down to 1 lane.
All right.
Because there is 4 inches difference between the center line and the white line for the crown. It's called the crown of the roadway. Usually on fresh builds, it's closer to 6 inches. But because of wear and tear and traffic and pounding, it settles over the years. There's about 4 inches difference between the center line and the edge line where that water is creeping up. So it's very possible it may get down to one lane, but it will not close that road.
99?
That's on 61 north of Wapello.
Right.
X99, the old state highway, which is now County Road 99. That will have some issues down around south of Twosboro.
Right.
Down there.
Yep.
Now, by God, last night when I was coming home in the eastbound lane, I was coming home in the eastbound lane. And on the westbound lane, there was a couple yellow or orange DOT trucks out there. And it looks like they were using a transit and a meter stick. What in the heck would they be metering out or surveying out there?
They're shooting just how many inches they've got to go before it comes up.
Oh.
I mean, we did the same thing when I worked there. We'd go out. I mean, these numbers we just didn't pull out of our hat.
Right.
Or
any place else.
And
the federal government would.
We'd take a level rod,
right,
and a gauge, and shoot elevations, for our own purpose, so that we knew exactly when the water, 22 East, just before you get to Wildcat Den, from the bottom of Fairport Hill, Fish Hatchery Hill, over to Wildcat Den. That is the lowest part on Highway 22. Water will come over there on there again. I don't remember the numbers, but it'll also come up through the bridge weep holes. And when the water comes up like that, we had all those elevation shots so that we know exactly, okay, they're going to say 18.5 foot, 18.6, 18.3. Well, we know the water goes over at 18.6, so we're out there a day in advance or a couple hours in advance slowing traffic down because we'll allow them to drive through shallow water because it's such an inconvenience to shut the road off, especially a state highway.
Right.
We'd let them go for a short period of time before we closed it off.
And so then once this all recedes, then you guys have to go out and inspect every single inch of it. And
everything has to be looked over. A lot of times we take a snowplow because of the debris that floats up and settles back down on the road. We just take a snowplow through there.
Well, you
push it back off to the side.
Yes. Yep.
Why don't you pick it up?
That's EPA's.
Up again, you don't have to push it off no more.
That's the EPA's problem, not the DOT.
Right, it's in the ditch.
That's how we take care of business here. But hey, you're on Jerry's Outdoor Show. We got to take care of some business. We got to play our last batch of commercials right here, and we'll be back to finish her up. Thanks a lot. Hey, you're listening to Jerry's Outdoor Show on KUPC 860 AM and 95.1 FM.
Well, what the hell is supposed to do, you moron?
That's a spicy meatball.
The Sicilian Pizzeria in Wilton is now serving domestic and import beer plus wine that complement all the great dishes prepared by owner and our friend Gary Brown. The Sicilian brings you the taste of New York Sicilian-style pizza plus Chicago favorites like Italian beef, meatball, and many more delicious authentic sandwiches. Really hungry? Order a Chicago-style stuffed pizza. Mouth-watering good. It's the Sicilian Pizzeria, 912 West 5th Street in Wilton. Call and place your order with Gary today at 563-732-9396. Satisfy your taste buds with the Sicilian.
Is your boat not starting well or running to its fullest potential? Have Nigel at Tailwater Marine take a look and have it running tip-top again. Conveniently located on Mississippi Drive, just south of downtown Muscatine, Tailwater Marine has years of experience and the skills to keep you worry-free on the water. Tailwater also carries towables, water toys, and accessories for your fun and safety on the water. Call Tailwater Marine, 563-264-BOAT. That's 563-264-2628.
The place where he was born and raised.
Sounds like a place to fish or baiting down at the bottoms. This is Randy Brewer from the Outback Bait and Tackle Shop. When you're ready to go fishing, to hit the river and local fishing holes, come and see me. I've been fishing our local areas for over 40 years. I'll be able to set you up with the right bait and tackle for our fishing holes in the area. I'll even throw in some of my experienced fishing advice. So before you head out to your fishing hole, come see me at the RB's Outback Bait and Tackle, located 16114 County Road X61 here in Muscatine. Call me at 563-506-0490. Sign says 9 to 5. Call anytime after. We'll get your bait.
Pierce Custom Rods are handcrafted of the finest materials available and designed to provide the most enjoyable fishing experience imaginable. Each rod features a perfect blend of power, action, and detail customized for the user. If you want the utmost in performance, quality, feel, and appearance from your custom rods, choose Pierce Custom Rods. Search Pierce Custom Rods and like them on Facebook or call 563-299-8645.
And now back to more Jerry's Outdoor Show. If you've missed part of this episode or any other episode, what were you thinking? Give Jerry's Outdoor Show a like on Facebook. Listen to past episodes on iTunes, Podbean, and jerry'soutdoorshow.com.
All right. The last time I'll have to try to make up something funny to come back from a commercial break with. Let's see. I haven't picked on Tim Scott today. Hey, Tim Scott. No. What are you going to do, bud? What are you going to do from now on here on out on Fridays at 10 a.m.?
I don't know. I just have to find something else to do with my time.
Tim Scott Technology Show. You can have older gals and older gentlemen call up, want to know how to operate their iPhones or iPads, stuff like that.
Hearing aids. And
I worked on the help desk for years. I'm not interested in doing that again.
So there's
well, Tim, if you got a pencil there, I won't mention what the acronym is, but you can always go a person in management's position.
Okay. I'm going to let that one
You'll have to
slide.
spell that to Brewer. You'll have
I'm
to
gonna
spell
let that
out.
slide.
But anyway, no, it's I look back through it, not to get all emotional or anything like that, but
you're not gonna cry.
No, I'm not gonna.
You're gonna miss it.
No, what the hell I was talking about? I was gonna give you a check for $600, but the hell with you now.
Anymore?
Jesus,
I'll take
I've seen you
I'll
enough.
take his money.
I've seen Randy enough. No,
yeah, but you have to on Friday.
I have to. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
But hey, we started this thing. It was a silly idea of mine back when I owned a bait shop.
Yeah.
4 years ago, I said, "Hey, I'm going to have a show about fishing. It's got to be like a commercial." And Randy was like, "What the hell you talking about? Nobody on radio don't listen to that shit." No, but number 3. Whoa, Randy says
3 all year long.
3. So anyway, I said that. My good friend RB, he said, you know, this and that. I said, well, you'll be on it. Oh, well, then it'd probably be a good show.
I did not. I said, I'll call you once in a while.
And
not
that's
knowing I'm going to be in here every Friday.
Yeah, but
we was doing it, what, at 8 to 9? 9 to 10?
We're doing it 9 to 10. And then we actually we were doing it from when we first started out, it was 9 to 9:30 was a half hour.
Yep.
But as much as we go on, we ended up moving it up to an hour. Then the second season, we added some characters on there. Randy was calling in. And then the third season, Randy came in pretty much full-time as well as this season. Lonnie Ford, we added him on this year, and a better rookie. We're kind of
it's been fun training him.
Right. Yeah. If you go back and listen to the first shows at MuscatineTVchannel.com, and Lonnie was all, well, you know, the thing about people is that you can't offend them and now today he's talking about hootie peckers and all that. So we've really
changed him a little bit.
Loosened him up a little bit. But he has really come on strong. He's really balanced out the team here. As far as the political correctness and keeping our math figures straight. And Lonnie, I appreciate you coming in every Friday.
And now you get a life back.
Now you get your life back. Tim Scott.
Next season you can say, oh, no, I ain't wasting my time on your show.
Right. Tim Scott and Wes Jordan, they've been terrific when they've switched off producers. I couldn't think of any two better people to work with in the business. Tim was...
Thanks.
Well, I'm going to beat the hell out of you afterwards.
I figured.
Parking lot talk again. Parking lot talk.
I figured.
No, Tim is, being an icon in the area, and been on the radio for as long as when I was a little kid, I remember him being on
Jesus. Don't remind me.
on the radio, but no, he's every Friday he comes right through. A little grumbly some days, but
boy, here we go.
Other than that,
after the pickup, here comes the blow.
Yeah, pat you on the back and kick you. No, there's no blows here. Another thing we added on this year is a man standing right behind me here, Brad Hesford from MuscatineTV.com. He has showed up every single Friday and videotaped these shows or digitally recorded them or however.
That's a lot of work.
There's cameras sitting everywhere.
That is a lot of work, and then that's what Randy's contract writer had to change. Well, now if I have a camera appearance, I need to have
an extra towel.
Right, I need to have an extra PBR in the cooler for that. But no, Brad has done a heck of a job. Get to MuscatineTV.com.
Check it out, folks.
And it's not only my show. What do you got now? 6, 7 shows on there now? Yoga World and all that. The yoga one I haven't checked out just too much just yet. Right, so, I was always afraid of my wife coming down watching me seeing some guy in leotard stretching on a yoga match. That was up. But other than that, we also, last season, we had Brad Lovestad on. He was our news guy out here, and then he took off to do his services. And lo and behold, did we know that there was a redneck buried down in between this guy. But he came in as Hermit Longhorn.
He's good.
Did you catch? Unfortunately, because of the fish rod, we didn't get to catch much of his show down at Froze because we were outside.
Yeah, we was outside and they were inside. I did, once we wrapped up the fish cooking, I did get in there for 2 of his songs.
Right, and he really ripped it up. And I mean, we had a lot of late nights writing lyrics about Randy. We didn't get all Lonnie's songs this year, but maybe next year we'll see what happens with that. As far as I go, I am very, very humbled and awestruck when I go out in public and people recognize me. Just from my voice. They say, hey, you're that dude with the radio show. Man, we love it. We love it. We listen. My husband listens. My grandsons listen. I listen.
We want reruns.
We want all this stuff.
You guys are quitting. We want reruns.
Exactly.
That's what I heard up to the fish fry.
Right. And they're all, get on
a TV show and
right. And it's just,
watch it anytime.
It just floors me that we reach so many people. We're not experts by any sense of the word, but we are heavily experienced and probably in things that you shouldn't do. So I'm glad that you guys
we can cover that, can't we?
Right. So I'm glad that you guys took your time out to spend it with us each and every Friday morning from 10 to 11. Other than that, what's on the horizon for the show? I don't know. Like I said, we
care for a couple months.
Well, right. It does because I do care about the longevity of the show and this and that. And we'll have to see where negotiations take us. And I'm going to leave it at that. I thank KWPC for offering me the time to be on here and to reach as many people as we're able to reach. My fan base, I love you. It can get any bigger than that. Like I said, I'm just always just humbled when people, come up and just say, hey, man, we listen. So I appreciate you taking your time. I appreciate all the emails that everybody sends me. I appreciate all the fabulous guests we have on. And it's just been a heck of a ride. But for now, we're going to call it good. We're going to call her done. And we're going to see you guys next season, hopefully. Any final words from you guys?
Bye. Time to go fishing.
Well, Jerry, since this is the first year for me, and I appreciate you asking, I had done some minor radio work with KWPC in the past on behalf of my job, and it was nice to see these guys again, or some of them again, like some of the old people that just don't
like Tim Scott. Tim
Scott just don't move, And but I appreciate you asking me to be on this, and I really had a good fine time.
Right, absolutely. And
you learned some new language, didn't you?
Peckerwood Road.
Well, I think he came with that one. I think he had that one. So anyway, for everybody out here at the show, hey, I appreciate it. It's been fun. If you never hear from us again, be good to one each other. Try to love somebody if you can, and take care of each other.
God bless.
See you later, folks.
See you, folks.
Bye-bye.
Broadcasting live from the Muscatine Hy-Vee Studios, KWPC Muscatine, AM 860, K236CF, Muscatine, FM 95.1.